Big thank you to Liquid IV for sponsoring today's video. You want to know one of the most annoying things ever? When you're having a bad day or things aren't going your way and you're struggling to kind of get your mental framework back on track and someone just tells you, think positively, everything is going to be okay. This is an example of toxic positivity, and the fact that this phrase even has to exist is nuts to me. But we live in a world which is exacerbated by internet culture where people believe that all your problems can be solved by just thinking in a positive direction. Dismiss all the experiences that come with being a human, all the hardships, your rent being late, you getting in an argument with your parents, your garbage disposal breaking, whatever it is, ignore all that. None of that matters as long as you think positive. And that's the reason why that mindset of extreme positivity is so toxic, is it dismisses all the things that we deal with as people and boils it down to a personal choice to just think better thoughts. Now here's where this whole thing gets tricky. There is a lot of truth to this positive outlook and mindset that is often taken to this extreme toxic level. Positive thoughts do send you in the direction that you want to go in. I think most of us want to live a happy, fulfilled life, and the easiest way to get there is by thinking in a good direction. But the problem is, it's not always easy to just find these happy thoughts. It's not always easy to feel great about the position that your life is in. So today I want to go over some small actions that I've implemented in my own life that have helped me get myself to a point where this happiness is easier to find. These are not big actions. These are not things like me buying a new car or buying a house or moving. These are very small shifts in my mindset and lifestyle that have allowed me to turn into a much happier artist over my career, because there were definitely times where your boy was down bad and I was extremely sad and in low places, especially when I started this YouTube channel. That was some of the darkest times of my life. I might have done a good job of hiding it from y'all. So let's get into it. These are some small changes that I've made in my life to go from a sad artist to a happy artist. And one thing I want to make clear here is those terms are relative. I'm a human. I obviously still have my bad days, but I'm speaking in general. I'm a much happier person now than I was 6 years ago, and implementing these things has got me there. Now, I also want to make something explicitly clear, because this video has a mental health undertone. If you're someone who has been clinically diagnosed with a real mental health issue, this video is not intended to diminish your experience or oversimplify what you're dealing with. I know that your issue is much larger than the intended audience for this video. This video is designed for people who have found themselves in a rut, who are struggling to get their life moving in the direction they want, or who are interested in hearing my experience as someone who has not had a diagnosed mental health issue deal with the woes that come with life and being an artist. So the first change that I made to go from a sad artist that I was years ago to the happier artist I am today is focusing on staying in alignment with who I actually am as a person, essentially being true to myself. Years ago, when I first started on YouTube, when I was making photography on social media, my primary objective was fitting in with what was already popular. I was chasing trends. If you go back and watch my old YouTube videos, I was essentially trying to be like Casey Neistat, which I don't think is a problem when you're first starting out, but once I got more serious, I was always wondering why I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted. Why did everything I was doing feel like pushing a boulder up a hill? And why was I trending in this more negative, unhappy direction all the time? And now I realize it's because I wasn't fulfilling who I actually am or what I actually wanted to do as a person. Nowadays, if you watch a YouTube video on this channel or you see my photography, it is a reflection of what is going on in my brain. I'm literally just channeling out the ideas or the things that I want to say to y'all. And it's also one of the big reasons why when I do vlog type videos, I'm pretty vulnerable about my life. It just feels natural. It feels like I'm being true to who I actually am as a person, someone who shares experiences. And through sharing these experiences, I get fulfillment in the result of doing that. Simply seeing a comment saying, this video helped me, or I felt really good after watching this, brings me so much joy because I'm actually helping people and doing something for the world. Whereas when I was a sadder artist, everything I was doing was just to fit in with the world. I wasn't reflecting my unique voice and sharing the gifts that I have to share with people. Now, implementing a mindset shift like this can seem overwhelming and unrealistic to most people, and I agree with you. Your life is already on a certain trajectory. You've chose a certain path. So the easiest way to implement this is to start small. Look for the little areas of your life and the things that you're doing creatively that have friction, and try to remove that friction. Change them so that they are more in line with who you actually are, so they're more true to who you actually are. And over time, these small changes compile on themselves, similar to a snowball, and you find yourself in a position where your life is much more in general aligned with who you actually are and true to you as a person. And in turn, it's much easier for you to find these happy thoughts and these happy feelings because you are free. You're actually being who you're meant to be. So the second change that I made was finally identifying what I really wanted out of life. And I stopped saying happiness was something that I wanted. By saying happiness was my goal or happiness was something that I was desiring, I was implying that this was something that I didn't already have. I lacked the capability of being happy in the current state that I was in. So what I started doing was writing down specific goals and specific things that I wanted to accomplish and get done that I felt that were in alignment with who I actually was as a person. So even if I had a day where these goals weren't going exactly how I wanted them to, or the goal that I had in mind seemed very far away, I knew it was going to take me a long time to achieve it, I was always feeling happy because I knew that I was doing something that I truly wanted to do, and I was making progress in a direction that was in line with what I actually wanted out of my life. Now, the third change I made is relatively obvious, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but it's taking care of myself physically with diet and exercise. We all know that when you exercise, when you eat healthy, you feel good. And feeling good is one of the easiest ways for you to facilitate these happy thoughts and happy feelings to move your life in the direction that you want to go. But more importantly than that, most people struggle with exercise and diet, and it presents itself as a challenge. If you challenge yourself to eat healthy, if you challenge yourself to exercise on a daily basis or to fulfill an exercise routine that you set for yourself, you are giving yourself a goal and giving yourself a sense of achievement when you complete those goals. And this sense of achievement that you get is one of the most powerful things that you can have in your life. It gives you confidence. It gives you this feeling that you're actually doing something. And through this feeling of actually doing something, you feel alive, you feel free, and you feel in control. And in turn, you can feel happier much more easily. And with that being said, I want to thank the sponsor on today's video, Liquid IV, for being a part of my exercise routine. One of the drawbacks of starting a new exercise routine is maintaining adequate hydration levels. I know how hard this can be firsthand from doing long runs in the summer, post-workout sauna sessions, and busy work days where drinking water is the last thing on my priority list. Lack of proper hydration can cause a myriad of problems, including less cognitive function, potential headaches, and worst of all, decreased energy and performance during your workouts and your workday. Luckily, Liquid IV keeps me on track and keeps me performing at my best with their easy-to-use travel hydration packs. I just put one in my camera bag or one in my car, mix it with my water, and now I have hydration 2 times faster than water alone, plus essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, and B12, and vitamin C. And the best part is they taste delicious. My personal favorite is the golden cherry flavor. It's next level. I've tried a handful of different hydration products, and this is by far the best tasting, most convenient, and gives me the best results. But don't take my word for it. Stay hydrated with these best-selling Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier flavors by clicking the link in the description and using my code EvanRanf. That's liquidiv.com and use my code EvanRanf to save 15% and get free shipping. Start taking advantage of all the hydration power in Liquid IV today and start performing and feeling your best. Now, the fourth change that I made to go from the sad artist that I was years ago to the person that I am today, a much happier version of myself, is slowing down, actually taking time for myself. When I started this art career, this professional journey that I'm on, I felt like a hamster on a wheel. I felt like I constantly had to be working. That was the only way that I was going to get ahead. But now what I realize is by constantly working like this, I'm never actually figuring out who I am as a person. I'm not leaving time for myself to identify, are the actions I'm taking going towards the goals that I actually want? Am I actually fulfilling my purpose as a person? And the only way to figure these things out is to give yourself the time to actually think about them, reflect on them, write in a journal about them. And early on, I was spending so much time making things that I left no time for myself to be me, to breathe, to just actually be a human being. My entire life was my job, whereas now my job is to fulfill who I actually am as a person and what I want to create and what I want to give to the world. Now, the fifth change that I made was I stopped taking social media seriously. More importantly, I stopped aligning who I am as a person with the outcomes that happen on my social media. And as a professional artist or someone who's trying to make a name or grow a brand for themselves, it's very easy to get caught up in this idea of your value being aligned to your performance on social media. Oh, I posted something and I think it's my greatest work, but nobody liked it. I'm a failure. That's the mindset that a lot of people have today. And this was definitely me for a large part of my career. But now we live in a world where social media is dictated by algorithms, and it's so outside of your control that you can't attach any value of who you are as a person to whatever metrics you're getting online. The most important thing that you can do is try to create the best thing that you can make, that you are proud of, that you get fulfillment for, and just put it out with no expectations. And what I do personally is I no longer have a potential outcome attached to something that I'm making. So if I'm creating something, I no longer think, oh, this is going to get a bunch of likes, or this is going to get a bunch of attention, or this is going to be the thing that goes viral. I just put the same amount of work into everything that I do to where I feel like it's good, but I'm not overworking myself to try to achieve something. I'm being consistently good over time instead of occasionally great. That is an awesome quote that I took from Nick Bear. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. But by adopting this mindset, you are now focused on creating the best thing that you can create every day and getting the fulfillment out of your creations without the attached outcome that you're hoping to get with social media, and also the potential disappointment that comes with the outcome not happening, which is completely outside of your control in today's social media world. Like I said, algorithms control everything. So don't worry so much about the metrics. And like I said, be consistently good instead of occasionally great. Now, the final thing on this list that has helped me go from the sad artist I was when I started all this to the happier artist I am today is that I no longer listen to people who are not in the position that I want to be in. People love to give advice. And when you choose a creative path in life, or you choose a path that is not the normal path, people are going to have opinions. It's going to be strangers online. It's going to be people in your own family. It's going to be friends. But if the person giving you that advice is not in the position that you want to be in, do not listen to it. If someone is giving you advice and they're not in the position that you want to be in life, they are most likely projecting their limiting beliefs onto you. What you have to understand is someone who is not in the position that you want to be in does not have the mental bandwidth to actually achieve the things that you are trying to create, preventing you from being the person you actually are, fulfilling your true self, finding that true identity we talked about earlier in the video. Whereas if you are getting advice from someone who is better than you, someone who has achieved more than you, they are expanding as opposed to contracting your view of who you can be as a person. They are helping you facilitate this growth and becoming the individual that you actually want to be. This is why it's so important to listen to that quote of you're a byproduct of the 5 people you spend the most time around. Are the 5 people that you're around most contracting your idea of who you are as a person and what you can achieve? Or are they expanding your vision and helping you become the person who you know you can be and find that fulfillment, which, like I said, leads to happiness? So that is it for today's video. I hope I did a good job of explaining something that is pretty difficult to explain. Happiness is just floating in the air. It's an intangible, but these are my experiences with finding happiness as an artist over the last couple years of my career. And I hope you can maybe take some nugget of this and apply it to your own life and get something out of it. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're not yet, and thank you so much for watching.